Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Tea from the Galaxy, a thirst-quenching podcast for the girls, gays, theys, and astrology baes, where we talk about anything and everything through an astrological lens. So today's episode is all about Pisces. This is a Pisces episode for you guys. Pisces Sun, Moon, and Rising specifically Pisces Suns and Risings is what we are mostly going to touch upon and talk about in this episode, especially at the end because I'm going to start getting into the horoscope for Pisces for 2026, but I will touch upon the Pisces Moon. This is a part of my little series I have going for every season. Usually I bring on someone who's the zodiac sign of the month so they can tell their experience of what it feels like and means to be that zodiac sign. But I wanted to do this season's episode a little bit differently. So what I did was I got on my TikTok and Instagram and I asked my followers, what does it mean to be a Pisces to you, a Pisces Sun, Moon, and Rising? What does it feel like? What is the most Piscean thing about you? What makes you a Pisces? So we can definitely dive into the comments of what I received. I received some interesting ones. Happy Pisces season, guys. I'm actually recording this episode under the Pisces new moon. So if you are a Pisces watching this right now, this new moon is for you. This is the ultimate fresh start for you guys. I always like, especially if you have a rising sign, a Pisces rising, but a Pisces sun too. I always love manifesting under a new moon that is in my rising sign. In your rising sign, in your first house, it's just a different vibe. It's like if you want to create a new you, a new self, if you want to walk into like a completely new identity, this is the new moon for you. So yeah, it is currently March 18th right now. We are in the new moon, period. It is most potent 3 days before, 3 days after. So if you are watching this in the next couple days afterwards, the energy is still in the air. So definitely keep that in mind. But first things first, words that I use to describe Pisces: compassionate, intuitive, creative, highly sensitive, impressionable, trusting, idealistic. When I meet Pisces suns and when I describe Pisces suns, it is always a little tricky to me, Pisces suns especially and specifically. I realize with Pisces suns, because it's mutable water, they are very different depending on where the sun lays in the chart, so where the house is, and what else is in their chart. Pisces sun, who has a lot of fire in their chart, is extremely different than a Pisces sun that has a lot of water in its chart, or a Pisces sun that has a lot of earth in its chart. Because Pisces being such a mutable sign and mutable being like just very free-flowing, fluid, flighty, it really is a mirror of all the other aspects and elements and planets in their chart. Pisces is that in general. When I think of Pisces, the type of water that Pisces is, I think of like Pisces as water in the sponge. But I also view Pisces as like a very sparkly, still body of water. But Pisces, like what I said, they're very impressionable. They are always taking in the emotions and the feelings of everyone around them. That is why they're a sponge to me. So just like how that is how they are, that's how I see Pisces suns and react in a birth chart as well. So if it's one thing that I always do realize about Pisces, either through my own personal experience with Pisces in my life, Pisces that I've met, Pisces who I've done readings for, one common denominator is that they are very empathetic people. And I think we all know some evil Pisces, okay? Actually, one of my childhood bullies is a Pisces. I think she had a Pisces stellium, actually. Any zodiac sign can be evil, right? But usually Pisces are the product of their environment. And even though this girl was literally my childhood bully, she was a close friend of mine, but was my childhood bully at the same time. She was a crybaby. She was very sensitive. She held a lot of empathy for her father specifically. She would always like talk to me about it. But then she had the side to her where she was literally my bully, and I think and I believe it's because she was a product of her environment that she grew up in. She grew up in a very hostile and aggressive environment, and I think I was the punching bag for that. But I've also met so many Pisces. They hold this type of empathy for people that is so healing and nurturing. And Pisces to their core aren't mean people because of this. I think if you've ever experienced a mean Pisces, they are the product of their environment, and especially mean Pisces men. Pisces men and water sign men in general, I will always advocate for this point. They are way more sensitive and emotional than your typical man. And in this society, men are told to kind of hold it together, be masculine, men don't cry, be a man. So it makes it even harder for a water sign man to be in touch with their emotions and to actually feel. They're suppressing their emotions down, and even more because they hold so much emotions, and not even their own emotions, but the emotions of everyone else around them. And I do believe this is why a lot of Pisces men and water sign men can get the rep and of being evil and are evil, quote unquote evil, because they do not have the tools on how to deal with their emotions. I think if a lot more men, especially water sign men, water dominated men, were able to, feel their feelings and be okay to feel their feelings and feel okay to, and, talk about their feelings and cry and feel okay to cry, the world would be a much more better place. But that's my hot take on that. I also realize a lot of Pisces go through a lot of identity issues and people misinterpreting them. And I think this is because they are a mutable water sign. Like what I said, Pisces are literally the sponges of the zodiac. If you are surrounding yourself with a group of people, I notice Pisces tend to act and behave like that group of people. If you're surrounding yourself with very, bummy people, mean people, people who just aren't doing good for themselves, I tend to notice that Pisces Sun specifically tend to then act like that. But if you are surrounding yourselves with very high achievers, ambitious people, motivated people, optimistic people, I find that Pisces then act like that. So you are who you surround yourself with. It is very important to surround yourself with good intentioned people and good, highly motivated and optimistic people. Of course, that is just, a fact of life. But especially if you have Pisces in your chart, I think this holds true, especially for you guys. Always losing and finding yourself because you are taking in the emotions of other people, and it subconsciously, affects you and you don't even realize it. So, and then also people misinterpreting you. That is a big Pisces Sun and Rising thing I often find. Uh, Pisces modern day ruler is Neptune. Neptune is a very misunderstood planet. It's hard to grasp Neptune because it's an illusion. It is a planet of fantasy. So what is truly real and what's not. I tend that Pisces suns and risings are always misinterpreted, or you think you're putting out energy and it's not being taken in a way that you think you're putting it out. That could definitely be another reason why a lot of Pisces have a lot of identity issues or go through identity issues with themselves, because they feel like they're one thing, but people are thinking of them or seeing them or viewing them in a certain light, and it causes, crisis. So it's very important for Pisces, I find, throughout their lifetime to really learn themselves. Who are you when no one is around? Who are you when no one's watching? Who are you without, identifying with your career, or identifying with your family, or identifying with the place that you live? What kind of things do you like? What are your hobbies? What do you like to do in your free time? What makes you happy? What makes you sad? I think it's very important for Pisces to sit and think about that. And that's another reason why it's important for Pisces to have a lot of alone time. That's another thing that I realized about Pisces placements through and through, especially Pisces Sun, Moon, and Rising. Having alone time to recharge that social battery is very important. And also, I always recommend for Pisces placements to have some type of routine where they are energy cleansing themselves, because you are always unintentionally taking in a lot of people's energy around you. It's very important to have some type of routine where you're cleansing that, especially if it involves water too, because you guys are a water sign. So this could be like, literally doesn't even have to be anything woo-woo, but taking a shower at the end of the day every day, and intentionally thinking or saying out loud, I am removing today's energy off of my body, and having that intention and kind of cleansing yourself with water that way. So that is a big thing for Pisces. Pisces moons, sensitive, emotional, intuitive, needs a creative hobby. Oh my God. Okay, so your moon sign is who you are emotionally. It's your subconscious self, but it's how you deal with emotions, how to emotionally regulate yourself. It can also rule things of like your childhood, how you grew up, especially the mother figure in your life, the maternal figures in your life. I always recommend every Pisces moon to have some type of creative outlet. This is going to help you emotionally regulate yourself. So, and a lot of Pisces moons I know are such creative people. Pisces moons are very sensitive, and you need to surround yourself with people who allow you to be sensitive and talk about things, and create that safe space for you. And because you are that sensitive soul, you have this innate aspect about you that you just automatically serve safe spaces for people. Every Pisces moon I know has been such a safe space for me and for other people as well. They just hold this very calm energy about themselves, this healing energy about themselves. A lot of Pisces moons go on to have career paths that are very healing too, as well, in the health field, in the healing field, caring for people. I know a lot of Pisces moon children who just felt everything so strongly, the highs of the highs and the lows of the lows, and taking things very personally, and they bring that into adulthood. And this is very important for Pisces moons to learn how to regulate that, because the world is tough sometimes. So learning how to not take things so personal is a very big life lesson for Pisces moons. I find a similar Pisces moons and Leo moons in a way that they can almost think everything is about them and take things personally, because they think that it is personal, or it is a personal dig, when really not everything is that deep. But because Pisces moons are very deep thinkers, and they feel things deeply, and they kind of think a lot about how they make other people feel, that's why they think that it's always personal, because they think everyone else thinks like them, when in actuality not everyone thinks or even feels to the depths that Pisces moons can feel. So having a creative outlet is very important for Pisces moons. Having a spiritual outlet as well. I think everyone should have a spiritual health regime. But I find a lot of people who have Pisces placements in their chart, spirituality just regulates them 100%. Believing in a higher power really helps them get through life. I truly do believe that Pisces placements have the closest, most direct line to source. They are very intuitive people. If you even just take a little bit of time to tap in, you can really see how much power, how much intuitive, spiritual, and psychic power that you have. Pisces moons in childhood, they can tend to either use escapism, daydream a lot, have a mother who was a martyr, so a mother who always played victim, or a mother who was always like, poor me, poor me. Addiction and escapism in the household could have been a thing. So then those are the coping mechanisms that a lot of Pisces moons learn in adulthood as well, because that's what you saw growing up. A lot of running away from things, a lot of turning a blind eye, or adopting this martyr victimhood mentality from the mother. I see a lot of Pisces moons actually having that as well, which could be something that was learned from the household as well. But a lot of Pisces moons do fall into the victimhood boohoo mentality, instead of reflecting on the flip side of it. This is another thing that a lot of Leo moons do as well. A life lesson for a lot of Pisces moons. Or on the flip side of it, I've seen a lot of Pisces moons have a relationship with their mother that is very magical. It's almost like you look up to your mother in such a light and in such a way and such an inspiration. Having a very closeness to the mother as well, or having a really magical childhood, or things were just always very bright in colors and sparkly and fun and lighthearted. And then in adulthood, you realize that you have been deceived. That's something that I realized as well. But, you know, I always believe there's two sides to every moon sign and the relationship with their mother. And I have seen a lot of times where Pisces moons are actually very close with their mother and have a good relationship with their mother. Or maybe both, you know? Maybe your mother was one certain way, but you still are very close with her. You know, I've seen that as well. Pisces rising. So the rising sign is it is the lens on how you view life. It is like the avatar in this game of life. So you can be like, let's say you're a Gemini, but you have a Pisces rising. You are a Gemini, but you navigate life like a Pisces. So Pisces risings navigate life in a very spiritual, romantic, and emotional way. That's their outlook on life. I know a lot of Pisces risings that are very psychic. A lot of Pisces risings that go into some type of spiritual field or artistic field, creative field. I can think of 2 Pisces risings right now on the top of my head. My mom is a Pisces rising, and she loves to dance. She always says if she had it her way, she would have been a dancer. That is like what brings her joy in this life. Having fun, dancing with her friends, going out and dancing. And I wish she could have been a dancer in her life. I wish she pursued that as like an actual career and like did that for herself, because it brings her so much joy. I also have an ex-girlfriend who's a Pisces rising too. She facilitates, you know, sound bowl healing and is a singer and is on all types of sound frequency healing and, you know, in that realm as well. I know a lot of Pisces risings who make art, who paint, who are singers, who are actors. So this is a huge thing for Pisces risings. Pisces risings, I say, are the ultimate sponge, just like how I described with the Pisces suns too. I know a lot of Pisces risings who feel good by bodies of water. Pisces moons too. Oh, this is another thing. Being by bodies of water, connecting with water is something that can definitely emotionally regulate you guys. Pisces risings are constantly looking and losing and finding themselves, especially after this Neptune through their first house transit that happened from 2011 to the beginning of this year. So similar to what I said in the beginning of this episode, how the Pisces suns are the product of their environment and people are always misinterpreting them because they are kind of like this mystery, this kind of blurred image that people misinterpret a lot. Or everyone who meets a Pisces rising will have a different outlook and perspective and interpretation of that person. That's just what it is when you are a mutable rising. I find that Gemini risings also deal with this as well. Being the product of their environment is also a huge thing. If you're surrounding yourself with bad people, you are going to be a sponge and be a bad person. If you surround yourself with ambitious, motivated, optimistic people, you're going to be a sponge and, you know, take up that and embody that. But because of this, it could cause identity issues and you just really falling into that. Or I also have found that Pisces risings have identity issues because they over romanticize things. And then there's moments in their life where they kind of snap out of the delusion that they were once living in, and then they face reality. And it causes them to kind of have this downward spiral. I see a lot of Pisces risings go through that within their life too. And also being prone to things of escapism, whether that is drugs, alcohol, partying, toxic relationships, running away, traveling a lot, doom scrolling, overeating, you know, whatever. Pisces risings always tend to overdo it. Pisces suns too. Pisces moons too. Honestly, Pisces sun, moon, and risings, you guys can tend to, whatever the your kryptonite is, you tend to really suck it up dry, you know, until you realize that you can't keep doing this. You have to get down to the root of the problem. With this Neptune through the first house transit that you guys have dealt with since 2011 was like having identity issues on steroids, because you guys are already this very much, you know, fluid, mutable, free-flowing being, and having Neptune, which rules the same things, and Neptune also rules like illusions, delusions, romance, creativity, going through the most personal house in your birth chart rules you, your outlook on life, your physical self, your identity, how you view life. Added another layer of identity issues, another layer of constantly losing and finding yourself, another layer of really high highs, romantic highs, and really low lows. Could have definitely been diluted in some type of way by some type of person or situation. I also find that Pisces do feel in this extremist way, feeling very high highs. You guys are ruled by Jupiter, which is a planet of luck and expansion and abundance and optimism. So I know a lot of Pisces placements who are naturally very optimistic. They kind of remind me of, you know, that character in like the TV shows who was kind of a little dumb, but ignorance is bliss type of thing. Like they, even though they're kind of stupid, they're the most happy character on the TV show and the most funny. That is how I view Pisces a lot of the times. Like ignorance is bliss, 100%. But on the flip side of it, Pisces also have so much depth to them, ruled by the ocean. You know, the ocean is so deep, runs down to the earth's core. That's how deep Pisces can feel. So that's how deep Pisces can fall and spiral. It really depends on what type of spiral Pisces falls in. And finding that balance is really important for Pisces. Knowing not to spiral up too high and not to spiral down too low, and really learning how to find that balance is really important, especially for Pisces risings too. I also realize, similar to Pisces suns, like it really depends what other placements you have in a chart to see what type of person this person is. Because when I think of like my mom and my ex-girlfriend, they're so different and their charts are very different as well. So although they're both Pisces risings and I can find similarities between the two, their attitudes so different. Like my ex-girlfriend sees the good in people, very optimistic, like very much head in the clouds type of energy, and her chart is very different than my mom, who's very much the opposite. Pessimistic, always think, you know, the guard is up, oh, not trusting of people. And my mom has Scorpio stellium and my ex has a Leo stellium. So the Pisces rising is how you know, how you navigate the world, but really it depends on the other placements that you have in your chart to see in which spiral of the Pisces you kind of go in. I've seen the Pisces spiral go upward so high and I'm like, oh my God, give me an ounce of your optimism. And I've seen this Pisces spiral so low that I'm like, oh my God, like please snap out of it and come back to life. So I want to get into a little bit of my TikTok and Instagram comments about when I asked you guys of what it means and feels like to be a Pisces. I have the first comment, Pisces Sun, my emotional depth and the life events I go through for more character development, and no matter what, I'm always taken care of. Period. Second comment, as a Pisces Moon in traditional astrology and a Pisces Sun in Vedic, I feel the way I deal with my emotions is ignoring them. I usually disengage and I'll distract myself with something else. I used to write a lot when I was younger. I have at least 12 composite notebooks full of thoughts. I go inward. I rather talk to myself because no one really comforts me. They try, but they can't to my standards. A lot of the time it feels icky expressing how I feel, especially when it's sadness or disappointment. It all comes out as anger sometimes. I have this fear of missing out, but also have a fear of people leaving. So this was interesting to me because I asked her what her sun and rising was in traditional astrology because I was very intrigued and I wanted to get more information about this, because when she said, I'll distract myself with something else. That is a huge Pisces moon thing. And that is a form of escapism. But I know a lot of Pisces moons who do not really ignore their emotions. They are better at feeling their feelings and allowing their emotions to come up, and crying about it or getting sensitive about it or feeling them, or, you know, putting them out in some type of artistic work than a lot of other moon signs. It could be it's harder for a lot of other moon signs than it is a Pisces moons to allow and feel their emotions, and understanding and, you know, knowing that they're feeling an emotion. Like, I wanted to know her rising sign because I wanted to kind of see what her home life situation was. I want to see what her fourth house was, because to me, it seems like this Pisces moon baby was never allowed to, or never given space to be an emotional being, to cry, was never comforted. And so that's why she turns to escapism and distracting herself with something else. No one really comforts her. And it's given Capricorn. That gives Capricorn for sure. So I'm very curious to know what her other placements are. And I definitely feel bad that she feels that way, because if it's any moon sign that needs space to cry and have a good cry, it is a Pisces moon for sure. Pisces moons are like, if I'm crying, you're crying. We're all crying. We love to cry. When Pisces moon's children aren't given the space to cry or allowed to cry or to be sad or emotional, that's when I see a lot of Pisces moons turn to addictions. Another comment, navigating daily life is like constantly swimming through energetic waters. Every second I am underwater, but I'm either treading above it, meeting with the tides, being pulled under, etc. Energy is like water. So I believe this person is a Pisces rising based on how they answer this question. So it's very interesting how they described navigating life with water. Like, it's just very Piscean. Another thing with my Pisces rising ex, I don't know if she's gonna watch this, probably not. I hope she doesn't care that I'm kind of name dropping her, but she's literally one of the most Pisces risings persons I've ever met before. She literally named herself Siren. Siren, like the fucking mermaids in the sea. She loves the ocean. She's literally a beach bum, and her birth name is something different. And I'm like, this is just, you were such a Pisces rising for that. Like, honestly, she has a mermaid tattoo. I also have a mermaid tattoo as well, but like, she is literally, I think she could live in a hut like next to the ocean. And that is probably one of the most Pisces thing, especially Pisces rising thing. Pisces moon 0 degrees and Pisces north node. I love my fantasy world that I create in my head, and because my reality is always unstable, my world saves me when I'm at my lowest. Also love to escape into movies and shows and books. Sometimes pretend I'm someone else. Intuitive, knowing things through my dreams. Huge Pisces thing, especially Pisces moon thing. I also notice a lot of Pisces Venus people actually love escaping through TV shows, movies, and books and writing and stuff like that too. Huge thing with Pisces placements. They also love romance. So they love a good rom-com, a good romance novel, a good like lovey-dovey TV show. That is just something that Pisces love, especially if they're not getting it in their real life. That is when I see a lot of Pisces seek it out in media. Pisces moon, and it's very hard for me not to daydream too long. I have to make sure I stay on track in reality as far as my goals. So many Pisces moons and daydreaming. That is such a Pisces moon stereotype. Pisces stereotype in general, the daydreaming for sure, especially if you have a lot of other water in your chart as well. Girl, you were probably spending most of your time daydreaming. Because I'm very water dominated in my chart, and I'd be daydreaming a lot. When I was a kid, I used to daydream a lot too. So I can't even imagine if I had fucking Pisces in my chart. I would probably be on a different planet, to be honest. I'm a Pisces Sun, Moon, Mercury, and MC. I'm just super sensitive to outside energy, and emotionally sensitive too. But I'm not meek or passive. I can be so gentle and loving, but absolutely cutthroat if you cross me. My love language is acts of service. I never realized that I daydream a lot, but I do. I imagine outfits, home interiors, travel, etc. constantly. I ruminate a lot too. Ultimately, what you see is what you get. I keep it very real. I love that. I wonder what a rising sign is. This is what I mean when it depends what other placements you have in your birth chart will depend how the Pisces Sun manifests. Because another Pisces that I always think of who is an aggressive Pisces or was an aggressive Pisces was JWoww from Jersey Shore. Like, she is an intimidating bad bitch, okay? But she has a lot of Pisces placements in her chart. And that is the axis of Pisces. They can be so sensitive and take things very personally that they can cut a bitch, okay? They will fuck you up because they are just running off of emotions and emotionally heightened and emotionally motivated. So that can be very dangerous. I feel like people sleep on water signs for that. Water signs will fuck a bitch up, okay? Like they really can, especially if you have like fire in your chart along with that water as well. Last comment. For me, what makes me a Pisces, Sun and Mercury, is the fact I run on cutie patootie juice to a fault. That is so Pisces. I treat everyone genuinely and authentically and cannot fathom being mean for no reason. See, that is big Pisces things. I do kind of deceive people into thinking I'm ditzy and dumb to see if they'll take advantage of me though. And then when they do, they're effectively dead to me. If they continue to poke me, I'm breaking out the black magic. I don't even care. Someone has died by it. Whoa, 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 whoa. Pause. Let's take a break. What? I'm not even sorry, and if given the chance, I would do it again. I'm not fucking with you. There's more to this because I also have a Capricorn moon and Libra rising, so unfortunately I can be manipulative and calculating in my Pisces expression. This is where the dream aspect of Pisces comes in because I'll have prophetic dreams of how someone is going to act in a certain situation in the future. Then the dream plays out and all I have to do is say my script and play my role and move on with my life. I've gotten kind of used to the deja vu. It's weird because I'm the person who is usually 10 steps ahead, leading someone who did me dirty and letting them think it's their idea. But then someone talks to me on the street and I'm halfway in reality spinning a 3D Rubik's Cube in my head. This was the most Pisces thing I probably read out of all these comments, honestly. You see what I mean with the Pisces axis? They start with the cutie patootie juice to a fault, and then it ends with, you know, someone died by my black magic. Like, what? Wow, how did we get here? Another person also said that they feel like they can know that someone is a Pisces rising when they look like a mermaid. Pisces risings, they have very mesmerizing eyes, like literally siren eyes. So Pisces suns and rising, let's get into your 2026 and onward horoscope, okay? So currently I am recording this on the new moon in Pisces on March 18th. So like what I said at the beginning, this is the perfect new beginning for identity beginnings, the ultimate fresh start for you guys. Also a really nice time to manifest honestly anything. Like if you feel like you want to walk into a completely different reality of a self, this is the new moon to do it for you guys, okay? Also, another thing that's happening and been happening for you guys, Mercury retrograde has been in Pisces since February 26th and is in retrograde until March 20th. So this could have been a little chaotic for you guys, Pisces, because it is literally happening in your sign. So it is affecting you guys the most. So could be things like travel delays, communication delays, miscommunication, you know, arguing with people because Mars is also there too. Because of miscommunication, accidentally, you know, hurting yourself, getting into car accidents, losing things, technology breakdowns, you know, just feeling very frustrating and frustrated energy, or almost feeling like your feet is in quicksand as well. So my best piece of advice always for Mercury retrogrades is rest, reevaluate, and reflect. So if things aren't moving for you in a pace that you want it to be at this time, it's because the universe is screaming at you to take it down a notch and to take a step back and to rest a little bit, especially under this new moon. This new moon is giving sleepy. Okay, there's so many planets in Pisces right now and it's giving sleepy time, okay? Also, another thing, Mars is in Pisces since March 2nd and until April 9th. So this can manifest in a lot of different ways or all of the above. Mars moving into your first sign, into your first house, or over your sun can bring a lot of aggression, motivation, and a higher sex drive. Watch for being accident prone. I give this warning when Mars is going into your first house and over your sun sign. But basically, Mars is the planet of what motivates us. It's the fire underneath us. It is how we move towards our goals, how we act. It's also our sexual desires. I was predicting, especially because Mercury retrograde is happening for the first half of this Mars and Pisces transit, that could bring a lot of heightened emotions, aggression, fighting, verbal altercations because of miscommunications, not understanding people correctly. So it leads to taking things personally and fights happening. Also, another thing, Mercury retrograde with Pisces, especially for you guys, but for the collective, but especially for you guys, I really hope you didn't, sign any contracts, make any type of investments, do anything impulsively to your appearance, jump into anything impulsively, because you might regret it in the future. I feel like you will. Yeah, big warning with that. But when Mercury stations direct, starts making its way out of Pisces into Aries, and Mars moves its, merry way in Pisces, it could bring a lot of motivation. I feel motivated to get my life together, to start this new project, to go about this goal. And like what I said, a heightened sex drive. So you guys could be feeling very sexual at this time right now too. Could be a nice time to kind of explore that. Next, Jupiter in your Cancer 5th house. Jupiter is now direct. Jupiter is a planet of luck and abundance and optimism. So it being direct means that now there's more luck flowing towards you, especially you guys, because it's making a harmonious aspect to your Pisces placements. And the 5th house, which is a very romantic house. It's a creative house. It is a house that rules things of dating, romance, creative projects, fertility, and your relationship with children. So things could feel very good from now until June, in this aspect, in this area of your life. And if you were feeling blockages before while Jupiter was retrograde, things could start flowing for you more nicely now. Saturn in your Aries 2nd house from February 2026 until April 2028. So we saw a preview of what this aspect could look like for you over the next couple of years, from May 2025 until September 1st, 2025. Saturn did dip its toes into your Aries 2nd house for a little bit. So definitely reflect on that time period in your life, what was kind of happening around that time, to kind of see and predict what kind of things could be coming your way over the next 2 years. But I will say, during that time, Jupiter in Cancer, in your Cancer 5th house, was making a square to Saturn in Aries, which is a very tense aspect. So things that, how this could have looked like last year, and even possibly right now, is maybe things were going good for you in your dating, romantic, creative life or with your children, but you were receiving these obstacles, delays, or frustration or restrictions with money. So let's say you had to quit a job because you're pouring more into a creative project, or you just had a baby, so you had to take time off of work and it's cutting into your pay, and you have to restrict how much you're spending now, and your pay is being restricted because you can't work as much because you had a kid. Or you're dating more, your romantic life is doing good, but because you're dating more, you're spending more money. So you're getting a hit to your, like a little negative hit to your financial situation, because the 2nd house rules your personal assets, your finances, your money that you're receiving yourself. So that could have definitely been a thing last year going into this year. But the more that Jupiter makes its merry way through Cancer, the more that it's going to be separating from Saturn. So Jupiter moves into Leo in July, the end of June, July of this year. So then it's actually going to start making a harmonious aspect to Saturn and Aries, which is better energy. You could notice an increase in your work life and your daily productivity. So the second half of this year, you guys could be definitely feeling a lot more busy. Maybe there's a lot more, things happening at work. Good things though. A lot of good work opportunities, but you definitely could be working a lot and having a lot on your plate and feeling overly optimistic about it, especially Pisces. You guys are overly optimistic. Having a Leo sixth house, you guys love being praised in your place of work. So I definitely see this being like, oh, I believe you can do it, so I'm going to give you 10 tasks. And you saying, yeah, I can do it. Give me the 10 tasks. And then actually kind of burning yourself out or having just a lot on your plate. But this could also lead to you making more money. So that's actually good. But I can definitely see a lot of people, Pisces and Pisces risings over the next 2 years, kind of a money wound coming up to the surface, or a lot of money lessons happening. Maybe you're making more money, but you're spending more money, and then you end up putting yourself in debt. Like I can possibly see that happening too. Like definitely there's going to be a learning lesson of needing to budget and needing to restrict your spending, or some type of financial sacrifice is happening here. Or maybe you're learning that you need to financially sacrifice in this moment in time in order to save for the future. Definitely being more frugal with money, or that it's going to be a lesson that's coming towards you in the future. Moving on, currently right now until next month, April 2026, Uranus is in your Taurus third house, making its wrap up. Okay, Uranus has been in your Taurus third house since 2018. So since 2018, this could have looked like a lot of up and downs with siblings and extended family members. So like cousins, grandparents, whether that looks like, suddenly stopping contact with these people or reconnecting with these people, a lot of like sudden shifts. Learning ways to communicate could have been a big thing with others, or you learning how to communicate your ideas, connecting more with your community, your neighborhood. You could have moved a lot or moved suddenly and suddenly changed neighborhoods since 2018. Connecting with younger children or children in a younger school system, because the third house rules things of lower education. Gaining more knowledge on technology and transportation definitely could have been a thing as well. So next month in next month in April 2026 until May 2033, Uranus will be in your Gemini fourth house. The fourth house rules things of your living situation, your family, like your immediate family. The fourth house is your ancestry. So definitely your parents, but who you're living with in your house is the fourth house. Your home life, and your living situation as well. So I definitely see this family and home life changes continuing. A lot of changes and suddenly talking to people, suddenly meeting people, reconnecting with family members and disconnecting from family members as well. Suddenly moving, suddenly leaving a place where you're living and, moving into a new house. Real estate, fourth house also rules things of real estate as well too. Suddenly selling real estate, suddenly buying real estate. But definitely a lot of revolutionizing your family unit and doing things very different within your family than how you usually would do things, or doing things very outside of the ordinary than how other people are living. So like, for example, quote unquote normal people, live in a single family unit. It's you, your partner, and your children. You could possibly be getting a place with your best friend and raising your children together, kind of doing things outside of the typical norm in your living situation. Feels like this could be happening. You're in your 40s and 50s having roommates, things like that. Things that aren't quote unquote normal. You're making it normal, okay, with your living situation and your family. Maybe start homeschooling your children too. That could definitely be a thing. But you're definitely going to feel like a black sheep in your family unit, or / being the trailblazer in your family unit. Sometimes doing things differently, you inspire people to do things differently as well, and sometimes different is the better route. And that is definitely going to be something that you're learning. Your sense of style and how you're decorating your home, or what comforts you in your home, could definitely change as well. Just craving a lot more freedom in your living situation, your home life. This definitely looks like children leaving the nest, and you finding a lot more independence within your living situation as well, or just really craving a lot more independence from your family and your wherever you're living. Neptune moves into your Aries second house starting the beginning of this year until March 2039. So this definitely looks like confusion surrounding your financial situation and how you're getting money, your assets. So definitely be aware of that. From the first 2 years of this transit, because Saturn is also going to be in your Aries second house, I would definitely watch for bad business or personal investments and how you're spending money. Neptune is a planet of being deluded, delusions, illusions. So, and Saturn is the planet of karma and learning lessons. In a house of your financial situation, definitely be aware of overcommitting yourself because Jupiter is going to be in that sixth house, making a harmonious aspect. Be aware of overcommitting to yourself. This definitely looks like if something seems too good to be true, it might be. Or something starting out really good and you overdoing it and it turns out to be really bad. I definitely would not make any impulsive, investments with your money, dropping a lot of money on something impulsively or without really sitting and thinking about it. This could definitely look like trusting people with your money and trusting the wrong people with your money. So definitely be careful with that. I would kind of keep your assets and your money to yourself and be careful with who you're sharing information with and loaning money to. This could definitely also look like over fantasizing money or a certain income. Like what I said, maybe something could be too good to be true. You get this job opportunity, your future boss is throwing you this big pay, seems really good at first, and then 2, 3, 5 years down the line, you realize, damn, this isn't what I thought it was going to be. So definitely be aware of that as well. Money could definitely feel unstable during this transit as well. Like what I said, Neptune is a planet that's hard to decipher. It's hard to grasp what Neptune is. Neptune is kind of like trying to, grab a cup of water from the ocean and keep it in your hands. It's going to slip down your fingers. Money could definitely feel unstable. But learning that money is a frequency at this time could be a thing and a very important thing at this time as well. Making money from doing something creative or spiritual or in the helping and healing field, I think is amazing for you guys. I think so many Pisces suns and risings are really going to tap into their spiritual side, especially with Pluto transiting your 12th house at this time right now too. I think so many people, Pisces people, are going to turn inward, lean on spirituality or lean on some type of like healing and helping phase. The North Node is in Pisces right now too. So I really feel like it's helping. If you guys feel like you were being pushed in some type of like spiritual field, some type of compassionate healing, helping field, some type of creative field, really lead into that right now. I really, really like this. I really think that that is kind of the direction that the universe kind of wants you to go in. And I think if you are struggling with money over the next few years, lean into those fields. I think that is what's going to make you money. But like what I said, learning that money is a frequency and riding that frequency and not having so much money wounds surrounding that frequency, which could be a thing with the Saturn going through the second house, could be a learning lesson over the next 2 years for you. Not being so scared or having a scarcity mindset surrounding money is going to be so important. Knowing and believing and trusting that money always flows your way and you're just because you're deserving of it and you're a money magnet, that is what's going to bring you money as well. Lastly, Pluto is going through your Aquarius 12th house since the end of 2024 and will be until March 2043. Okay, this is a long transit. This is a generational transit. It's a 17-year, we have 17 more years left of this. So the 12th house rules things of transformation, spirituality, isolation, turning inward, being in hermit mode, solo traveling. So what does transit look like? Transformation through spirituality, isolation, sickness, solo travel, going inward, helping people, going to therapy, being compassionate with others and yourself equally. This is what's going to bring you transformation over the next 17 years. You guys have probably been feeling it. The transit has been happening for a year and a half now. You're probably slowly starting to feel or understand or maybe see what a Pluto in your Aquarius 12th house looks like, I think a lot of you could benefit heavily through solo travel and being alone. I think you will learn a lot through solitude and isolation and going inward and going to therapy too. Trying out different therapy, types of therapy, I think is really important. You will be learning a lot about your inner psyche over the next 17 years. So then when Pluto goes into your first house in 2043, you are ready to completely transform your whole self and like be the phoenix rising from the ashes because you did so much mental work on yourself. So that is if you're using this energy in the right ways, free will is everything. So I'm just giving you a little advice, a roadmap per se, on how to use the most and the best ways of this energy. So that is what I have for you guys, Pisces, my little Pisces babies, my little fishies. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you relate, what makes you a Pisces. Are you watching this video because you love a Pisces and you want to learn more about a Pisces? This is another reason I put out these videos as well. Not just so we can relate to them, but so other people can watch the different signs and kind of learn more about those closest to them as well. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, for listening, and I will see you guys in the next episode.